Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day. Don't forget, grab your smartphone and download the Lava Matra app and stay in touch. Guru Maharaj's message is your advantage. The following is a Sri Kṛṣṇa Caitanya book compilation given by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj on April 11th, 2023 in Dallas, Texas, USA.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to the Guru Maharaj's class. We are continuing from the compilation of the Sri Kṛṣṇa Caitanya book, and today's chapter is entitled Some of the Names and Characters of the Associates of Nityānanda, under the section The Pastimes of Nityānanda. So today we are again continuing from the Caitanya Bhagavat, Antyakanda 5.722.
কতিপয় নিত্যানন্দ পার্ষদের নাম ও চরিত্র। রামদাস। পরম পার্ষদ রামদাস মহাশয় নিরবিধি ঈশ্বর ভাবে সেই কথা কয়।
Lord Nityānanda's principal associate was Ramdas Mahasaya.
Lord Nityānanda, principal associate, was Ramdas Mahashaya.
He always spoke in the mood of the Supreme Lord.
He always spoke in the mood of the Supreme Lord. Caitanya Bhagavat, Antyakanda 5.723.
যারো বাক্য কেহ ঝাট না পারে বুঝিতে, নিরবিধি নিত্যানন্দ যার হৃদয়েতে।
His words no one could quickly understand.
His words no one could quickly understand.
Constantly, Lord Nityānanda resided in his heart. His words no one could quickly understand.
His words no one could quickly understand.
But Lord Nityānanda always resided in his heart.
But Lord Nityānanda always resided in his heart. Caitanya Bhagavat, Antyakanda 5.724.
সবার অধিক ভাবগ্রস্ত রামদাস, যার দেহে কৃষ্ণ আছিলেন 3 মাস।
All the devotees, Ramdas had the most intense feelings of ecstatic love.
Of all the devotees, Ramdas had the most intense feelings of ecstatic love.
In his body, Kṛṣṇa resided.
In his body, Krishna resided
Once, for 3 months.
for 3 months. Purport: Ramdas, who was the topmost associate of Sri Nityānanda, always spoke in the mood of the Vishaya Vigraha, the object of worship. Yet, he was not a Mayavadi follower of Shankaracharya. Many people who did not understand his actual position misunderstood him as an ahangraho pasaka, or one who worships himself as the supreme. Actually, Ramdas was always eager to gratify the senses of the Supreme Lord. Since foolish Mayavadis consider the living entities and the Supreme Brahman as one, they cannot as a servant, and Kṛṣṇa entered his body and resided there for 3 months. If one takes advantage of this incident and independently acts like Kṛṣṇa, his attainment of hell is guaranteed. Many followers of the Ramanandi Sampradaya, Ramanandi Sampradaya, this Sampradaya is a branch of the Ramanuja Sampradaya and is not associated with Ramdas. Follow the path of Ahangrahopasana. Since the Mayavadi philosophy is prominently found in their literature, the Vaishnavas of the 4 authorized Sampradayas do not agree with them on all matters.
Caitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila 11.13 Sri Ram Das Ar Gadadhar Das Caitanya Goshair Bhakta Rahitar Pash.
2 devotees of Lord Caitanya named Sri Ram Das and Gadadhar Das always lived with Sri Virabhadra Gosai. Purport. Sri Ram Das.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki. Jai. Sri Ram Das, later known as Abhiram Thakur, was one of the 12 Gopalas or coward boyfriends of Sri Nityānanda Prabhu. The Gaura Ganodesh Dipika 126 states that Sri Ram Das was formerly Sridham. In the Bhakti Ratnakar, 4th wave, there is a description of Sri Abhiram Thakur. By the order of Sri Nityānanda Prabhu, Abhiram Thakur became a great acharya and preacher of the Sri Caitanya cult of devotional service. He was a very influential personality, and non-devotees were very much afraid of him. Empowered by Sri Nityānanda Prabhu, he was always in ecstasy and was extremely kind to all fallen souls. It is said that if he offered obeisances to any stone other than Shaligram Shila, it would immediately fracture. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhasya, 10 miles southwest of Champadanga railway station on the narrow gauge railway line from Howrah in Calcutta to Amta, a village in the Hooghly district, is a small town named Kanakula Kṛṣṇa, where the temple in which Abhiram Thakur worshipped is situated. During the rainy season, when this area is inundated with water, people must go there by another line, which is now called the Southeastern Railway. On this line, there is a station named Kolaghat, from which one has to go by steamer to Rani Chaka. 7.5 miles north of Rani Chaka is Kanakula. The temple where Abhiram Thakur worshipped is situated in Kṛṣṇa, which is near the Kula bank of the Kana Dwarakeshwara river. Therefore, this place is celebrated as Kanakula Kṛṣṇa. Outside of the temple is a Bakula tree. This place is known as Siddha Bakul Kunja. It is said that when Abhiram Thakur came there, he sat down under this tree. In Kanakula Kṛṣṇa, there is a big fair held every year in the month of Chaitra, March to April. On the Kṛṣṇa Saptami, the 7th day of the dark moon, many hundreds and thousands of people gather for this festival. The temple where Abhiram Thakur worshipped has a very old history. The deity in the temple is known as Gopinath. There are many Sevite families living near the temple. It is said that Abhiram Thakur had a whip and that whoever he touched with it would immediately become an elevated devotee of Kṛṣṇa. Among his many disciples, Sriman Srinivas Acharya was the most famous and the most dear, but it is doubtful that he was his initiated disciple. Chaitanya Bhagavat Antyakanda 5.725
মুরারি পণ্ডিত প্রসিদ্ধ চৈতন্য দাস মুরারি পণ্ডিত যার খেলা মহাসর্প ব্যাঘ্রের সহিত
Famous as Chaitanya Das was Murari Pandit.
Famous as Chaitanya Das was Murari Pandit.
He sparred with large snakes and tigers.
He sported with large snakes and tigers.
This Murari Chaitanya Das was actually dead.
This Murari Chaitanya Das was actually dead.
He was floating in the Ganges as they would, people would tie dead bodies on banana rafts.
So when people would die, they would float dead bodies on banana rafts
They died of snake bite.
when they died of snake bite,
Hoping that some great yogi or someone would bring that body back to life.
hoping that some great yogi or pandit would bring back that person to life.
So the devotee of has been repeatedly requested by Lord Caitanya to at least accept one disciple.
So the devotees repeatedly requested, and Lord Chaitanya, that he would accept at least one disciple.
He was in the ends of Janadip and Rudradip.
He was in the ends of Jamadip and Rudradip.
His name was I don't remember. So he decided that the first person I meet tomorrow, I'll initiate.
So he decided that the first person I meet tomorrow, I will initiate him.
So then he went down to the Ganges, take his early morning bath,
So he went down to the Ganges to take his early morning bath.
and the dead body floated up and touched him.
So the dead body floated up and touched him.
So he gave the body the mantra,
So he gave that body the mantra.
Hare Kṛṣṇa, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. And the dead body came back to life.
And the dead body came back to life.
Your name is Murari Chaitanya Das.
Your name is Murari Chaitanya Das.
So since he had already died and brought back to life, he wasn't afraid of tigers or python snakes.
So since he was already dead and then he was brought back to life, he wasn't afraid of tigers and pythons and so on.
Rather, they were afraid of him.
Rather, they were afraid of him.
He would ride into a village on the back of a tiger,
And he would ride into a village on the back of a tiger.
and the tigers are like huge. They're like 9 feet long.
I mean, tigers are huge. They're about 9 feet long sometimes.
He'd run in, he'd ride in, and tiger, all the people, surrender to Kṛṣṇa.
He'd ride in on the tiger and tell all the people, surrender to Kṛṣṇa.
So he was a very dynamic devotee.
So he was a very dynamic devotee. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila 11.20.
মুরারি চৈতন্য দাসের অলৌকিক লীলা ব্যাঘ্র কালে চড় মারে।
There were many extraordinary activities performed by Murari, a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sometimes, in his ecstasy, he would slap the cheek of a tiger, and sometimes he would play with a venomous snake. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhasya, Murari Chaitanya Das was born in the village of Sar Vrindavanapura, which is situated about 2 miles from the Galashi station on the Bardwan line. When Murari Chaitanya Das came to Navadvip, he settled in the village of Modadrumad or Mamgachi Gram. At that time, he became known as Sharinga or Sharanga Murari Chaitanya Das.
He was a disciple of Jayapataka.
He was the disciple of Sharanga Thakur. The descendants of his family still reside in Jayapataka. In the Chaitanya Bhagavat, Antyakanda, chapter 5, there is the following statement. Murari Chaitanya Das had no material bodily features, for he was completely spiritual. Thus, he would sometimes chase after tigers in the jungle and treat them just like cats and dogs. He would slap the cheek of a tiger and take a venomous snake on his lap. He had no fear for his external body, of which he was completely forgetful. He could spend all 24 hours of the day chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra or speaking about Lord Caitanya and Nityānanda. Sometimes he would remain submerged in water for 2 or 3 days, but he would feel no bodily inconvenience. Thus, he behaved almost like stone or wood, but he always used his energy in chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. No one can describe his specific characteristics, but it is understood that wherever Murari Chaitanya Das passed, whoever was present would be enlightened in Krishna consciousness simply by the atmosphere he created. Chaitanya Bhagavat, Antyakanda 5.726.
রঘুনাথ উপাধ্যায় রঘুনাথ বৈদ্য উপাধ্যায় মহামতি যার দৃষ্টিপাতে কৃষ্ণে হয় রতিমতি।
Vaidya Upadhyaya was most magnanimous.
Raghunath Vaidya Upadhyaya was most magnanimous.
By his glance, one would, if he glanced on someone, they would get attachment for Kṛṣṇa.
When he glanced on someone, they would get attachment for Krishna.
An attachment for Kṛṣṇa would awaken in one's mind.
That attachment for Krishna was awakened in one's mind. Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila 11.22.
রঘুনাথ বৈদ্য উপাধ্যায় মহাশয় যাহার দর্শনে কৃষ্ণ প্রেম ভক্তি হয়।
The physician Raghunath, also known as Upadhyaya, was so great a devotee that simply by seeing him, one would awaken his dormant love of Godhead.
So these were the associates of Lord Nityānanda.
So these were the associates of Lord Nityānanda
That just like seeing them, one's love for Kṛṣṇa would be awakened.
That simple, just by seeing them, one's love for Krishna would awaken.
These are not ordinary souls. They're very liberated souls have come down from the spiritual world.
These are not ordinary souls. They're liberated souls who have come down from the spiritual world. Caitanya Bhagavat Antikanda 5.727.
গদাধর দাস প্রেম ভক্তি রসময় গদাধর দাস যার দর্শন মাত্র সর্বপাপনাশ
Kṛṣṇa Das was filled with transcendental mellows or ecstatic love for Kṛṣṇa.
Gadadhar Das was filled with transcendental mellows of ecstatic love of Krishna.
Simply by seeing him, all sinful reactions were destroyed.
Simply by seeing him, all sinful reactions were destroyed. Caitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila 10.53.
শ্রী গদাধর দাস শাখা সর্বোপরি কাজীগণের মুখে যেহ বোলাইল হরি
Sri Gadadhar Das, the 23rd branch, was understood to be the topmost, for he induced all the Muslim Qazis to chant the holy name of Lord Hari. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. About 8 or 10 miles from Calcutta, on the banks of the Ganges, is a village known as Nityānanda Gram. Srila Gadadhar Das was known as an inhabitant of this village. Nityānanda Vasi Gadadhar Das, the Bhakti Ratnakar 7th wave, informs us that after the disappearance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gadadhar Das went from Navadvip to Katwa. Thereafter, he came to Nityānanda and resided there. He is stated to be the luster of the body of Srimati Radharani, just as Sri Gadadhar Pandit Goswami is an incarnation of Srimati Radharani herself. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is sometimes explained to be Radha Bhava Duti Suvalita, or characterized by the emotions and bodily luster of Srimati Radharani. Gadadhar Das is this duty or luster. In the Gaura Ganodesh Dipika 154, he is described to be an expansion of the potency of Srimati Radharani. He counts among the associates of both Srila Gaurahari and Nityānanda Prabhu. As a devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was one of the associates of Lord Kṛṣṇa in conjugal love. And as a devotee of Lord Nityānanda, he is considered to have been one of the friends of Kṛṣṇa in pure devotional service. Even though he was an associate of Lord Nityānanda Prabhu, he was not among the coward boys, but was situated in the transcendental mellow of conjugal love. He established a temple of Sri Gaura Sundar in Katwa. In 1434 Sakabda AD 1512, when Lord Nityānanda Prabhu was empowered by Lord Chaitanya to preach the Sankirtan movement in Bengal, Sri Gadadhar Das was one of Lord Nityananda's chief assistants. He preached the Sankirtan movement by requesting everyone to chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare
This simple preaching method of Srila Gadadhar Das can be followed by anyone and everyone in any position of society. One must simply be a sincere and serious servant of Nityānanda Prabhu and preach this cult door to door. When Srila Gadadhar Das Prabhu was preaching the cult of Hari Kirtan, there was a magistrate who was very much against his Sankirtan movement. Following in the footsteps of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Gadadhar Das one night went to the house of the Qazi and requested him to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. The Qazi replied, "All right, I shall chant Hare Krishna tomorrow." On hearing this, Srila Gadadhar Das Prabhu began to dance, and he said, "Why tomorrow? You have already chanted the Hare Krishna mantra, so simply continue." In the Gaura Ganodesha Dipika, verses 154 to 55, it is said, shall I just read the translation? Srila Gadadhar Das is considered to be a united form of Chandrakanti, who is the effulgence of Srimati Radharani, and Purnananda, who is the foremost of Lord Balaram's very dear girlfriends. Thus, Srila Gadadhar Das Prabhu was one of the associates of both Caitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityānanda Prabhu. Once, while Srila Gadadhar Das Prabhu was returning to Bengal from Jagannath Puri with Nityānanda Prabhu, he forgot himself and began talking very loudly as if he were a girl of Raja Bhumi selling yogurt. And Srila Nityānanda Prabhu noted this. Another time, while absorbed in the ecstasy of the gopis, he carried a jug filled with Ganges water on his head as if he were selling milk. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in the house of Raghava Pandit while going to Vrindavan, Gadadhar Das went to see him, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so glad that he put his foot on his head. When Gadadhar Das Prabhu was present in Nityānanda, he established a Bala Gopal Murti for worship there. Srila Madhava Gosha performed a drama known as Dana Kanda with the help of Sri Nityānanda Prabhu and Sri Gadadhar Das. This is explained in the Chaitanya Bhagavat, Antya Kanda 5.318 to 94. The tomb of Gadadhar Das Prabhu, which is the village of Nityānanda, was under the control of the Samyogi Vaishnavas and later under the direction of Siddha Bhagavan Das Babaji of Kṛṣṇa. By his order, Sri Madhusundara Mullik, one of the members of the aristocratic Mullik family of the Narikela Danga in Calcutta, established a Patabadi monastery there in the Bengali year 1256 AD, 1849. He also arranged for the worship of a deity named Sri Radhakanta. His son Balai Chanda Mullik established Gaura Nitai deities there in the Bengali year 1312 brackets AD 1905. Thus, on the throne of the temple are both Gaur Nityānanda deities and Radha Krishna deities. Below the throne is a tablet with an inscription written in Sanskrit. In that temple there is also a small deity of Lord Shiva as Gopeshwara. This is all described on a stone by the side of the entrance door.
How the associates, how Lord movement is described here.
So how the associates of Lord Nityānanda helped spread the Sankirtan movement is described here. Chaitanya Bhagavat Antya Kanda 5.728.
Sundarananda Premarasa Samudra Sundarananda Nam Nityānanda Swarupero Parshada Pradhan.
Sundarananda was an ocean of the mellows. Love.
Sundarananda was an ocean of the mellows of ecstatic love.
He was the chief of Lord Nityānanda Swarupa's associates.
He was the chief of Lord Nityānanda Swarupa's associates. Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila 11.23.
সুন্দরানন্দ নিত্যানন্দের শাখা বৃত্ত মর্ম যার সঙ্গে নিত্যানন্দ করে ব্রজ নর্ম।
Sundarananda, another branch of Sri Nityānanda Prabhu, was Lord Nityananda's most intimate servant. Lord Nityānanda Prabhu perceived the life of Vraja Bhumi in his company. Purport. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhashya in the Caitanya Bhagavat, Antya-khanda, chapter 5. It is stated that Sundarananda was an ocean of love of Godhead and the chief associate of Sri Nityānanda Prabhu. In the Gaura Ganodesha Dipika 127, he is stated to have been Sudama and Krishna Lila. Thus, he was one of the 12 coward boys who came down with Balaram when he descended as Sri Nityānanda Prabhu. The holy place where Sundarananda lives is situated in the village known as Maheshpur, which is about 14 miles east of the Majadiya railway station of the Eastern Railway from Calcutta to Bardhaman. This place is within the district of Jeshur, which is now in Bangladesh. Among the relics of this village, only the old residential house of Sundarananda still exists. At the end of the village resides a Baula, pseudo-Vaishnava. In all the buildings, both the temples and the house appear to be newly constructed. In Maheshpura, there are deities of Sri Radha Vallabha and Sri Sri Radha Raman. Near the temple is a small river of the name Betravati. Sundarananda Prabhu was a Naishtika brahmachari. He never married in his life. Therefore, he had no direct descendant except his disciples, but the descendants of his family still reside in the village known as Magaladihi in the district of Birbhum. In that same village is a temple of Balaram, and the deity there is regularly worshipped. The original deity of Maheshpur, Radha Vallabha, was taken by the Saidabad Goswamis of Berhampur. And since the present deities were installed, a Zamindar family of Maheshpur has looked after their worship. On the full moon day of the month of Magh, January to February, the anniversary of Sundarananda's disappearance is regularly celebrated, and people from the neighboring areas gather together to observe this festival.
So, the associates of Lord Nityānanda are mentioned here.
So the associates of Lord Nityānanda are mentioned here.
And all the festivals which are still being observed
All these festivals which are still being observed,
are also described.
they are also described.
Our Prabhupada wanted to preserve these holy places of Lord Caitanya and Nityānanda associates.
How Srila Prabhupada wanted to preserve these holy places of Lord Chaitanya's and Lord Nityananda's associates.
I established the Bhaktivedanta Swami Charity Trust to
So he established
holy places.
the Bhaktivedanta Charity Trust to preserve these holy places. Chaitanya Bhagavat Antya-khanda 5.729.
পণ্ডিত কমলাকান্ত পণ্ডিত কমলাকান্ত পরম উদ্দাম যাহারে দিলেন নিত্যানন্দ সপ্তগ্রাম।
Pandit Kamalakanta was most grave.
Pandit Kamalakanta was most grave.
Lord Nityānanda entrusted the village of Satygram to him.
Lord Nityananda entrusted the village of Saptagram to him.
Satygram was a village of Vaishyas.
Saptagram was a village of Vaishyas.
And what Nityānanda established these Vaishyas as devotees.
Lord Nityānanda established these Vaishyas as devotees of Lord Caitanya.
And from them, Kalasar helped them in this activity.
And Pandit Kamalakanta helped him in this activity. Chaitanya Bhagavat Antyakanda 5.730.
গৌরীদাস পণ্ডিত গৌরীদাস পণ্ডিত পরম ভাগ্যবান কায় মন বাক্যে নিত্যানন্দ যার প্রাণ
Kṛṣṇa Pandit was most fortunate.
Gauridas Pandit was most fortunate
For he accepted Lord Nityānanda as his life and soul,
for he accepted Lord Nityānanda as his life and soul,
with his body, mind, and speech.
with his body, mind, and speech. Gai Mono Bhakya. Gai Mono Bhakya.
With his body, mind, and speech.
Body, mind, and speech. Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila 11.26.
গৌরীদাস পণ্ডিত যার প্রেম দণ্ড ভক্তি কৃষ্ণ প্রেমা দিতে নিতে ধরে মহাশক্তি
Gauridas Pandit, the emblem of the most elevated devotional service in love of Godhead, had the greatest potency to receive and deliver such love. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhasya, it is said that Gauridas Pandit was always patronized by King Kṛṣṇadas, the son of Hari Hoda. Gauridas Pandit lived in the village of Shaligram, which is situated a few miles from the railway station Mudagacha, and later he came to reside in Ambika Kalla. It is stated in the Gaura Ganodesh Dipika 128 that formerly he was Subal, one of the coward boyfriends of Kṛṣṇa, and Balaram in Vrindavan. Gauridas Pandit was the younger brother of Suryadas Sharakela, and with the permission of his elder brother, he shifted his residence to the bank of the Ganges, living there in the town known as Ambika Kalna. Some of the names of the descendants of Gauridas Pandit are as follows. 1. Sri Nrsimha Caitanya. 2. Krishnadas. 3. Vishnudas. 4. Bala Balaram Das. 5. Govinda. 6. Raghunath. 7. Baduga Gangadasa. 8. Olya Gangarama. 9. Yadavacharya. 10. Hridaya Caitanya. 11. Chanda Haladara. 12. Mahesh Pandit. 13. Mukuta Raya. 14. Bhatuya Gangarama. 15. Olya Caitanya. 16. Kaliya Krishnadas. 17. Patuya Gopala. 18. Bada Jagannatha. 19. Nityānanda. 20. Bhavi. 21. Jagadish. 22. Raya Krishnadas. And 23. Annapurna. The eldest son of Gauradas Pandit was known as Big Balaram, and the youngest was known as Raghunath. The sons of Raghunath were Mahesh Pandit and Govinda. Gauridas Pandit's daughter was known as Annapurna. The village of Ambika Kalla, which is situated just across the river Ganges from Shantipur, is 2 miles east of Kalana Korta railway station. On the Eastern Railway, in Ambika Kalla, there is a temple constructed by the Zamindar of Bardwan. In front of the temple, there is a big tamarind tree, And it is said that Gauridas Pandit and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met underneath this tree. The place where the temple is situated is known as Ambika. And because it is in the area of Kṛṣṇa, the village is known as Ambika Kṛṣṇa. It is said that a copy of the Bhagavad Gita written by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu still exists in this temple.
When you want to see the deity,
When you go there to see the deity,
after a few minutes, they close the deity.
after a few minutes, they close the deity.
Like a Jala Darshan.
Like Jalak Darshan. Jalak Darshan.
And then they open,
And then they open.
and they close.
Then they close.
And they open,
Then they open.
and they close.
Then they close.
And they asked, why are they doing that?
So I asked, why are they doing that?
And they said that since the deity had run away to join Hridaya Caitanya, they're afraid
So since the deity had run away to join Hridaya Caitanya, they were afraid
that he might attach to some devotee and run away.
that he might become attached to some devotee and run away.
That's why they kept open after a few minutes.
So that's why they kept closing and opening after a few minutes. Chaitanya Charitamrita 11.27.
নিত্যানন্দে সমর্পিল জাতি কুল পাতি শ্রী চৈতন্য নিত্যানন্দে করি প্রাণপতি
Making Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityānanda the lords of his life, Gauridas Pandit sacrificed everything for the service of Lord Nityānanda, even the fellowship of his own family.
I found a village of Shaligram,
I found the village of Shaligram,
and there are some ruins there.
and there are some ruins there.
There the Ganges used to flow,
There the Ganges used to flow,
and then the Ganges shifted.
and then the Ganges shifted.
So that's why Nityānanda and Sri Sarakala switched.
So that's why Gauridas Pandit and Surya Sarakela, sorry if I mispronounced, they switched.
Sri Sarakala is the elder brother, Dada of Nityānanda.
Surya Sarakela is the elder brother, the Dada of Gauridas Pandit.
And his two daughters became the wives of Lord Nityānanda.
And his two daughters became the wife of Lord Nityānanda, the wives of Lord Nityānanda. Chaitanya Bhagavat Antikanda 5.731.
পুরন্দরপতি পুরন্দর পণ্ডিত পরম শান্ত দন্ত নিত্যানন্দ স্বরূপের বল্লভ একান্ত
Kṛṣṇa Pandit was greatly peaceful and self-controlled.
Purandara Pandit was greatly peaceful and self-controlled.
He was extremely dear to Lord Nityānanda Swarup.
He was extremely dear to Lord Nityānanda Swarup. Chaitanya Charitamrita 11.28.
নিত্যানন্দ প্রভুর প্রিয় পণ্ডিত পুরন্দর প্রেমার নব মধ্যে ফিরে জয়ছন মন্দর
The 13th important devotee of Sri Nityānanda Prabhu was Pandit Purandara, who moved in the ocean of love of Godhead just like the Mandara hill. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Pandit Purandara met Sri Nityānanda Prabhu at Kadadaha, when Nityananda Prabhu visited this village. he danced very uncommonly, and his dancing captivated Purandara Pandit. The Pandit was in the top of a tree, and upon seeing the dancing of Nityānanda, he jumped down on the ground and proclaimed himself to be Angada, one of the devotees in the camp of Hanuman during the pastime of Lord Ramachandra.
Dancing of Lord Nityānanda was something extremely special.
Dancing of Lord Nityānanda was something extremely special.
Lord Caitanya had said that when Lord Nityānanda dances, I will be there.
Lord Chaitanya had said that when Lord Nityānanda dances, I will be there. Chaitanya Bhagavat Antyakanda 5.732.
পরমেশ্বরী দাস নিত্যানন্দ জীবন পরমেশ্বরী দাস যাহার বিগ্রহে নিত্যানন্দের বিলাস
Lord Nityānanda was the life and soul of Parameshwari Das.
Lord Nityānanda was the life and soul of Parameshwari Das.
Lord Nityānanda enjoyed pastimes in his body.
Lord Nityānanda enjoyed pastimes in his body. Chaitanya Charitamrita Adya Lila 11.29.
পরমেশ্বর দাস নিত্যানন্দ শরণ কৃষ্ণ ভক্তি পায় তারে যে করে শরণ
Parameshwar Das, said to be the fifth Gopala of Krishna Lila, completely surrendered to the lotus feet of Nityānanda. Anyone who remembers his name, Parameshwar Das, will get love of Krishna very easily. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhashya, the Chaitanya Bhagavat states that Parameshwara Das, known sometimes as Parameshwari Das, was the life and soul of Nityānanda Prabhu. Was the life and soul of Sri Nityānanda Prabhu. The body of Parameshwara Das was the place of Lord Nityananda's pastimes. Parameshwara Das, who lived for some time at Kadadaha village, was always filled with the ecstasy of a coward boy. Formerly, he was Arjun, a friend of Krishna and Balaram. He was the fifth among the 12 Gopalas. He accompanied Srimati Janavadevi when she performed the festival at Ketari. It is stated in the Bhakti Ratnakar that by the order of Srimati Janavamata, he installed Radha Gopinath in the temple at Attapura, in the district of Hooghly. The Attapura station is on the narrow gauge railway line between Howrah and Amta. Another temple in Attapura, established by the Mitra family, is known as the Radha Govinda temple. In front of the temple, in a very attractive place among two bakula trees and a kadamba tree, is the tomb of Parameshwari Thakur, and above it is an altar with a tulasi bush. It is said that only one flower a year comes out of the kadamba tree. It is offered to the deity. Parameshwari Thakur belonged, it is said, to a Vaidya family, a descendant of his brothers, is at present a worshipper in the temple. Some of their family members still reside in the district of Hooghly, near the post office of Chanditala. The descendants of Parameshwari Thakur took many disciples from Brahmana families, but these descendants gradually took to the profession of physicians. Persons from Brahmana families ceased becoming their disciples. The family titles of Parameshwari descendants are Adhikari and Gupta. Unfortunately, his family members do not worship the deity directly. they have engaged paid brahmanas to worship the deity. In the temple, Baladev and Sri Sri Radha Gopinath are together on the throne. It is supposed that the deity of Baladev was installed later because according to the transcendental mellow, Baladev, Kṛṣṇa and Radha cannot stay on the same throne. On the full moon day of Vaishak, April to May, the disappearance festival of Parameshwari Thakur is observed in this temple. Caitanya Bhagavat Antakanda 5.733.
Dhananjay Pandit Mahanta Bilakhan Jahar Hridaye Nityānanda Sarvakhan.
Nityānanda Pandit, he was a very extraordinary leading devotee.
Dhananjaya Pandit was a very extraordinary leading devotee.
He was like a Mahanta.
He was like a Mahanta.
Lord Nityānanda always resided in his heart.
Lord Nityānanda always resided in his heart. Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 11.31.
Nityānanda Priya Vritta Pandit Dhananjay Uttanta Virakta Sada Krishna Premomoy.
The 16th dear servant of Nityānanda Prabhu was Dhananjay Pandit. He was very much renounced and always merged in love of Krishna. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhasya, Pandit Dhananjay was a resident of the village in Katwa named Sitala. He was one of the 12 Gopalas. His formal name, according to the Gaura Ganodash Dipika 127, was Vasudama. Sitala Gram is situated near the Mangala Kota police station and Kaichara post office in the district of Bardhaman. On the narrow railway from Bardhaman to Katwa is a railway station about 9 miles from Katwa known as Kaichara. One has to go about a mile northeast of this station to reach Sitala. The temple was a thatched house with walls made of dirt. Some time ago, the zamindars of Vajaravana Kabasi, the Maliks, constructed a big house for the purpose of a temple. But for the last 65 years, the temple has been broken down and abandoned. The foundation of the old temple is still visible. There is a Tulasi pillar near the temple, and every year during the month of Kartik, October to November, the disappearance of Dhananjaya is observed. It is said that for some time Pandit Dhananjaya was in a Sankirtan party under the direction of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, and then he went to Vrindavan. Before going to Vrindavan, he lived for some time in a village named Sanchada Panchada, which is 6 miles south of the Memari railway station. Sometimes this village is also known as the place of Dhananjaya, Dhananjayera Pata. After some time, he left the responsibility for worship with a disciple and went back to Vrindavan. After returning from Vrindavan to Sitalagram, he established a deity of Gaura Sundara in the temple. The descendants of Pandit Dhananjaya still live in Sitalagram and look after the temple worship.
And sometimes it says there's a narrow gauge railway to Katwa.
Sometimes it is said that there is a rail gauge in Katwa.
But that was maybe before, in the early 1900s.
there is a narrow rail gauge. That was maybe before in the early 1900s.
When Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he wrote the details.
I mean, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he wrote the details.
But now it's all a large
But now it's a whole large, complete railway gauge. Chaitanya Bhagavat Antakhanda 5.734.
বলরাম প্রেমরা সে মহামত্ত বলরাম দাস যাহার বাতাসে সব পাপু যায় নাশ
Intoxicated with the mellows of ecstatic love of Krishna.
Intoxicated with the mellows of ecstatic love of Krishna
Like Balaram Das.
was Balaram Das.
If the wind of breeze that touched Balaram Das' body reached someone,
If the breeze that touched Balaram Das's body reached someone,
they would be free of all sins.
they would be free of all sins. Haribo!
How many more verses are there?
How many more verses are there? We're only halfway.
We're halfway through.
It is 37 page, Guru Maharaj.
30. There is 37 pages. More left?
No, totally
Oh,
it's
total
37 page.
37 pages. We're only halfway through.
We're at 18 page.
We're at 18.
Read this. It's Nityānanda. We'll stop here.
So we'll read this Caitanya Charitamrita verse and stop here. Caitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila 11.34.
বলরাম দাস কৃষ্ণ প্রেম রসাস্বাদী নিত্যানন্দ নামে হয় পরমন
And they're all very ecstatic devotees.
They were all very ecstatic devotees.
And we're like halfway through, we'll continue tomorrow night.
And we're like halfway through and we'll continue tomorrow night. Let's go. Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai. Prabhupada ki.
Thank you for watching our videos. Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day, and don't forget to like and share our channel.